mom, dad, what values were injected? Like, give us paint a picture of what values were injected growing up in the two of you guys. Was it, hey, you got to work hard. Hey, you got to respect people. Hey, you know, you got to read books. What were some of the values?
My dad, he worked 2 jobs. He was a barber and he worked at this it was Fieldcrest. Mm-hmm. It's like a textile mill. And he was never home because he always had 2 jobs. Mm-hmm. And my mom was like really Christian, and she always told us to do the right thing and never do drugs, or you'll wind up like your cousin. He's on drugs and you don't want to be like them. So, but my dad, he worked really hard. Actually, one of his jobs eventually killed him. He caught some disease at his work from breathing in cotton. Yeah. And it killed him.
How old were you guys?
He actually died on my 14th birthday.
On your 14th? Mm-hmm. How did that affect you guys?
It was terrible.
It was rough. Yeah. I mean, it's been so long ago, but and then I had an older brother who went into the military, so that was somebody else to look up to. And a lot of my friends, looking back on it, they didn't have no dads. Yeah. I didn't realize it at the time, but all my close friends, all my close black friends, none of them, they had a mom, they had a grandma, no dad. I never noticed any of that stuff, but when I look back on it, at least I had a dad. I think that's what kept us in line. Wow. Because a lot of those guys, they, unfortunately for them, they got locked up, you know.
And was there a relationship with Pops? Were you guys close for the 14 years? Like, was there any kind of, like, you played sports
I was scared
together?
of my daddy.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
Well,
he's mean.
Well, Daddy didn't really talk much. The only time you saw Daddy is when you fucked up and he was beating your ass. And he would beat our ass. Oh, man. Yeah.
Like old school or new
old
school?
Old school. If Daddy was alive today doing that shit, he'd be locked up. You can't do that shit he did to us.
What was the running back that got in trouble for whooping his kids?
Peterson.
Yeah,
Adrian Peterson.
Oh, he made Peterson like the Pope.
You know, he got knocked out last week, by the way. Peterson did.
He did?
Against Bell. Le'Veon Bell was the other
running back.
Yeah, he knocked him out. He knocked out Peterson.
Can we stay here on this dad concept? Yeah, because we just came back from Madrid. We were interviewing Andrew Tate. I'm sure you're familiar with him.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And a major focal point of the interview was the role of a father, the role of a man, the role of what Andrew Tate's dad, the influence he had over him and his brother, the role that Pat's dad, Gabriel, had over him. Mm-hmm. And you said that your dad passed away when you were 14, but he was a badass dude, would whoop your ass, all that. But you appreciated the fact that at least you had a father. You're talking about the fact that all your friends didn't even have a father. You didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Meaning it was just completely normal in your lifestyle, right?
Right.
And then when did this epiphany hit you? And like, what happened to all your friends that didn't have fathers? I think this is something that young men are lacking these days. Yeah. A male influence, a male figure, leadership. Go ahead.
You know what? My dad really didn't talk much, but I saw what he did each and every day. Yeah. That was a huge influence on me, what my dad had to go through as far as working 2 jobs. And I think that's very important for just men in general, because if you don't have a father figure in your life, you're going to be like a woman, actually, if that's who's raising you. You're going to be like an angry woman.
Yeah.
Women are typically emotional. Mm-hmm. And you don't want your men to be emotional. That's like a nightmare for men.
And as far as my mom, she really battled with a lot of self-confidence, because my mom, she grew up during Jim Crow. So by the time I was an adult and I was 18, I was traumatized about white people being racist, because that's what she endured when she was growing up, because she actually lived through Jim Crow and all that.
What would she tell you guys? So, hey, Keith, Kevin, just make sure when you're going on the streets, when you go to school, if the white man, what were some of the mindsets that were instilled in you with specifically?
Well, my mama was, for the most part, was traumatized by racism. Yeah. Everything she looked at was through a lens of black versus white, because that's what she experienced.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So when I graduated and I went to school, and when I went on to the military, I looked at white people totally different than what I do now, because I heard all the horror stories growing up as a kid.
Yep.
I lost my father. He wasn't in my life, but my mother was in my life. But what she instilled in us is just fear of racism.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.